Right. So in this video, we're going to be going over Tech Correct's business plan. All right. So as you guys already know, welcome to, so you want to start a phone repair business? Season 1, Episode 3. So, in this episode, we're reviewing the business plan for Tech Correct LLC by Misha Warren. So, we're going to look at a few things, the executive summary. I'm going to be going in and out of sharing my screen because before I share, I need to make sure there's no proprietary information, personal stuff to their business plan that they wouldn't want shared. So, just going over it real quick. First glance, the executive summary is very thorough. It's like I think 5 or 6 paragraphs. So it says Tech Correct is an electronic repair company that both continues striving towards developing knowledge of progressing technology and strives to remain as a persistently trusted place for people to have their valuables cared for. I think that's a very, very important uh statement, because a lot of people just get in and say, oh, they want to make money. And if you guys have seen me do this before, I always talk about you want to lead with the value. And it looks like most of my students are doing that. And I'm so glad. So it looks like, okay, so he says it began as an idea from an inquiry for smaller electronics repairs. Looks like he's been in the business for about 14 years, but founded Tech Correct in about 2019. After making an attempt to perform a repair, it became obvious that smaller consumer electronics would become a larger part of the business. He leads with excellent customer service, work ethic, great communication, and problem solving. They want customers to know that they care and look forward to fulfilling the requests. If there's a problem, the goal is to see how we can find solutions instead of pushing customers away and telling them no. And I talk about this in a lot of my videos. Most of the customers come through social media recommendations, word of mouth, and in some cases, people who watch the repairs in action, giving them greater confidence in Tech Correct's capabilities. I love it. So the primary focus initially was repairing electronics of customers, doing fix and flips, and they got started with their own personal money. Okay. And like a lot of people, the stuff that happened during 2020 kind of slowed the business down. And that's just what I'm gathering from the executive summary. The plan is this year, over the next 12 months, is to get back up to five-figure earnings, and he wants to grow at least 5 grand a year. And he also said if investors were looking to work with him, the top priority would be getting a brick and mortar location. I really like it so far. Um, and that's why I have you guys do this business plan. I talked about this inside of the school group. Part of what I want you guys to do, and I'm not sure if anybody has done this yet, I'm debating whether I should leave this optional or make it a mandatory requirement in order to complete the challenge. But I want you guys to join the Chamber of Commerce because you're going to find investors there. Investors go to the Chamber of Commerce. Why? Because they know new business owners go to the Chamber of Commerce to spread awareness about their business. Chamber of Commerce does a lot of beautiful things for you. For example, uh, the Chamber of Commerce provides free learning and education for new business owners, and they can also connect you with news media outlets to do ribbon cuttings and spread awareness about your business. So moving right along, we're going into the company and business description. So in here, he goes over the purpose. Tech Connect is an electronic repair company that both continues striving toward developing knowledge of progressing technology and strives to remain as a persistently trusted place for people to have valuables cared for. He goes into letting people know he repairs cell phones, iPads, laptops, digitally inclined music instruments. That's interesting. I've never met anyone who's in that niche. digitally inclined music instruments. You got me thinking like the Guitar Hero guitar. I don't know, or the I forget the other game. It was the band where you got the drums and stuff. I don't remember the name of it. Um, anyway, the mission statement. Our mission is to be the one people call on to provide a service and be able to provide it for them. I am not a fan of the mission statement because if I'm an investor and I'm reading this, my very first question to you is, well, what service are you trying to provide for people? You need to be really clear. So I'm going to say go back to the drawing board with that mission statement. You definitely want to go back to the drawing board with that mission statement. You want to make it extremely clear, right? For example, something like our mission is to be the go-to phone repair shop for people that want to get their cracked screens fixed. I don't know, something more clear and direct that speaks to your target customer. Because if I saw that, hey, our company mission is to provide a service and be able to provide it for people. Well, that's too broad. The first thing people are going to say when they pull up your page is, well, what do you provide? Don't assume that people know what you do. You have to be able to tell them. Your mission statement for your company is kind of like your elevator pitch. Like if someone said in one sentence or less, tell me what you do, that wouldn't tell them anything. It would tell them that you're a service provider, but it wouldn't tell them what service you provide. Core values. At Tech Correct, we like to show compassion, integrity, adaptability, honesty, knowledge, and authenticity. Um, okay, okay. It's not bad. But again, it's very, what's the word that I'm looking for? It just seems like it's bland, if that makes sense, right? I mean, everybody likes to show compassion, integrity, adaptability, honesty, knowledge, and authenticity, but what does that mean to you? What does that look like in the day-to-day of your business? So I'd like you to kind of revisit that. Team and organization structure. Tech Correct is great. At Tech Correct is great to be able to perform similar tasks as those who see the customers, but it is also important to have excellent managerial oversight who's great at making sure things have a workflow. Okay, so team and organization structure. That doesn't really tell an investor anything about your team and organization structure. As an investor looking at this, I'm wondering, well, how many people work here, right? Do they have a physical location? Um, how many people, going back again, how many people work in the company? What are the positions in the company? So you definitely want to do that over. Products and services line. So he does screen repairs, camera replacements. I really like this one, and I'm gonna share this part. I'm gonna share this on the screen for you guys because I think this is important. So he goes over all his products and services, but he also summarizes what they do for people. So screen repair gives back viewership and provides a safe experience by removing broken glass. Camera replacement gives back the opportunity to catch moments and memories. Charging port replacement. Customers need to be able to use their devices with power. Unlocking, utilize a phone without a carrier restriction. Software update. I really like this section. SSD upgrades improve the space of the device. A lot of people would just think that they need to go and purchase a new phone, but there are people out there that can upgrade the storage of your device. So he also put a pricing model in here. Prices can reflect use of aftermarket screen or replacement with manufacturer direct. So he does have a range. Like for example, a 16 Pro Max is anywhere from 4 to 500. Why? Because there aren't really any quality aftermarket parts for a 16 Pro Max, whereas a 14 Pro Max can range anywhere from 230 to 350, depending on what quality parts the customer uses. If they buy, if he's using an aftermarket 14 Pro Max screen, he can charge less because the part is cheaper, whereas an OEM quality one is going to cost them a lot more money. So I think great job on the pricing analysis. Um, I'm not going to go and research it. I'm sure you've already done that. And it looks like you did because it says here for an iPhone 6 to 7 Plus, you're charging around $40. The parts are very, very inexpensive for that. So that's a fairly decent labor cost. You're making about $30 to $35 an hour, depending on where you get the parts from. And again, with a budget phone like that, especially considering how quick it is to fix, you can't really aim to make too much money because if somebody has an iPhone 6, are they really trying to spend that much money to fix it anyway? I mean, they could go buy a new one for the price of fixing the phone. Most of them just don't want to go through the hassle or the hustle of backing it up, and they probably may or may not even be able to find another one depending on where they are. So I like the cost there. I think that's a fair price. Target market, age groups 25 to 45. The range of people typically have children. Yep, parents with kids, of course. He did some research with a statistical analysis, the ideal percentile of expected customers. So this part, it says the ideal percent, and I feel like this is where a lot of people get lost, right? They come up with the demographic that they want to target, and then they go into all this data and they're like, well, the reality is every single person, if your population is 110,000, then 110,000 people are your target market. Now you can niche down and target ages 25 to 45, but everybody in your city is your target customer. Why? Because at some point, everybody's gonna break their phone. I repair phones and I broke my phone. Um, Everybody's gonna break their phone, or they're gonna need a screen protector, or a case, or they're gonna upgrade and they're gonna need to sell their old phone and trade it in for a new one. So you said the ideal percentile of expected customers is about 5%. I'd argue that it's a lot more. So I'm gonna say on the target market, definitely dig a little bit deeper. Ideally in the USA, the phone market is still highly sought after. After a year, the warranty, exactly, after a year, the manufacturer warranty is over. Mistakes always seem to happen right after it expires. Exactly. Phone screens are a bit quicker and easier. iPhone screens are easier than other devices. They typically like to wait until they pay off their phone or realize Apple may not take it in for repair, or it's too inconvenient for them to deal with the Genius Bar. I'd also like to add that Apple doesn't always repair the phone. I had a phone that was missing a screen, so they refused to repair it because Apple doesn't work on phones like that. But third party, you can. Tech Correct is to be located near inner city, downtown Kansas, by the sports stadium. This location is in the middle. Okay, so he's already looking at potential spots for where he wants to be. Located near major highways. I like it. I like it. Competitor analysis. One of his largest competitors can offer timely repairs, availability via a variety of devices. Their weaknesses is the building, competitive pricing, Samsung authorized repairs, counterpoints, improving. Okay, so the SWOT, I'm not really understanding your SWOT analysis because it seems like you're just talking about, oh, okay, I get it. Comparative strengths, timely repairs, availability, variety of devices. Yeah, I'm not, I guess I'm a little confused as if you're saying that this is their strength versus you, or if that's your strength versus them. Um, I don't know if this is your SWOT or what it is, because I don't see SWOT anywhere. Yeah, I don't see your SWOT analysis in here. So I'm gonna say maybe redo that one, redo that part. The competitor analysis section. Marketing plan. When buyers work with you, the goal is to continue to positively influence new customers to trust you with repairs. With a website, it will be possible to give customers an estimate of time and cost, which will save a lot of time and potentially improve the outcome. Yes. Acquisition channels, social media ads or business cards, social events. I love it. Word of mouth. Yes, yes. Tools and technology. CMS will be used to have a place to fulfill posts and content. Don't assume that the people you're talking to know what that means because I'm not even sure. I'm gonna assume that you mean content management software. I would just spell it out instead of using an acronym. It's your business plan, right? So you have to assume that you're speaking to people who don't know industry jargon. Sales methodology. New leads for customers will be through business listings, social media ads, and face-to-face encounters with social events and activities. Outbound method that would be successful is the use of visuals, commercials, or reels showing representation of an accident with an electronic and the place they can go to have it fixed. People love convenience and sometimes structure. Show them where they should go and tell them it's fine to do it. Mm, I guess sales methodology. Show them where they should go and tell them it's fine to do it. Fine to do what? So definitely be a little bit more clear on that. Sales organization and structure. Everyone directly involved with a person with an electronic device can create a new lead. There will be a role for a media specialist that will be able to talk to new customers from clicking ads or with direct questions about a service they need for a general question. They will oversee CMS. Again, that CMS word, I have no idea what that means. Um, so you need to spell it out very, very clearly so that me and anyone else reading knows what a CMS is. Any text providing a service can encourage the customer to express their feelings on their outcome by a review or referral. Sales channels, the ultimate method to sell products through the website, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, other websites. Yes, yes. We want the customer to feel convenient for how they shop. Okay, so what products will you be selling? Right? I don't really see where that's mentioned anywhere on here. Right. You didn't you gave out a whole pricing structure for repairs, but then you kind of just jump into sales. What are you selling? It doesn't specify if it's accessories, phones, phone parts. You need to be very clear on that because again, as an investor, I have no inside knowledge about the industry, and you have to assume that you're speaking to someone with no knowledge. And again, you used another acronym. CMR will be used. I've run ads and I don't know what CMR is. And I'm being dead serious. So when you're making a business plan, my recommendation to you and those of you watching, stop using acronyms. Don't use acronyms. Spell out what you're talking about. And if you're going to use an acronym, it needs to be defined somewhere in the business plan. Put a star next to it, have a page with like definitions, or you could even introduce the term one time and then say, henceforth, it will be referred to as CMR or CMS. There will be a person behind the accounts ready to speak. Email, social media accounts, and direct messages will be available for customers to communicate with us. It sounds like this is a plan for the future and not starting out. And I think that needs to be clear because this is a business plan. This is basically your go-to guide for how you're going to grow your business. So if you're talking about hiring people, you need to talk about the timeline that you plan to hire them. Don't just throw it in there, right? We need to be very, very clear and specific. If you're hiring a CMS manager, whatever that role means, a CMR manager, whatever that means, or whatever position you're hiring for, what is the plan? How long are you working in your business before you can bring this person on board? That's not clear in the plan, and it needs to be clear in the plan. Okay, so legal structure. Operate as a consumer electronics repair shops. Yes, yes, yes. The establishment will be insured for incurred damages, whether it's to the store or merchandise. Yes. Okay, so he's gonna get his sales tax permit so he can get tax-free parts. Yep. He has to get proper ventilation. I'm glad that you thought about that for soldering. Yes. Building startup. Building startup, six figures, 1,200 a month lease. Eh. Ideal place of your own without worrying of contractual agreements. Utilizing a bank lender or working under a residence converted to a business, beginning stages under an established. Okay. Adequate inventory render 25,000 to obtain at least duplicates of every part up to the latest device. I promise you, you won't need $25,000 to get all the parts, even duplicate parts. It'll be a lot less than that. Ideal to keep a majority of things in stock, and like there you only want to stock up on popular parts when you're getting started because you're not going to have somebody coming into the store every day to fix every device. Just get the ones that are most popular. Tools, 7,000 for manual and eclectic power necessities. I feel like that's an unnecessary big word. Um, I don't know. I think there was just a simpler way to say that. Um, maybe not. Uh, yeah, like I had to Google it. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just feel like it was an unnecessary big word. It's nice, but is it necessary? Tools can include normal spatulas and screwdriver, a spatula and screwdrivers, and also include glass removing laser, micro soldering kit, magnifier, and hot plate. Ads $40 a month. You're gonna need a lot more than $40 a month to run ads for your business. Um, like with $40 a month for ads, you're gonna go out of business before you start. Trash disposal, $60 a month. I don't know, maybe. Insurance, business license, okay. 1 year with an additional customer per week, sales forecast. I mean, so you mentioning all this stuff, but there's no timeline in here, right? So you talk about refurbishing and it doesn't say when you're gonna start that. So you talk about the building startup. It doesn't say when you're gonna acquire a building. You talk about inventory buying. You don't say when you're gonna buy the inventory. You talk about tools. You don't talk about your startup plan, month one, month two, month three. Like when are you gonna get these tools, right? The ads. How soon are you gonna start running ads? What is your daily budget? $40, you're running ads at $1 a day. Facebook is not even going to show an ad for $1 a day. Like they're gonna say your budget is too low to be shown. Projected profit and loss. Okay, so it says to take initial flight, funding for a building and inventory will be needed to succeed. Next, we'll be preparing ads to attract new customers. All right, so stopping you right there. If you're talking to an investor telling them that you're only going to be investing $40 a month in ads, nobody's going to continue reading the business plan after that. They might even laugh and just throw the paper down. So I definitely encourage you to really do a deeper dive into how much advertising is going to cost you, and nowhere in here does it talk about how much money you are going to be able to put into your business. You! It doesn't say that, right? So, how much money are you putting into the business and how much are you asking investors for? That's important. And it's important to be clear about this stuff because I have a very huge following and I'm showing this to over 100,000 people. So someone might legitimately be interested in talking to you about your business, but your plan is unclear. So I'm going to say watch this video in its entirety, pause it, rewind it like as needed, fix the things that I mentioned in the video, and then give I'll send this to you, and I say give you like 2 or 3 days to review. We'll talk about it, see how much time you need, but I'm gonna say revise it and message me when you're done, and then we'll move on to day 7. All right? So for those of you who've been watching, I appreciate you tapping in with your boy. And where have you been? I hope you're busy. Oh, you know what? Before I even end this, let me go into the comments. I didn't even realize so many people were watching. Where have you been? I hope your business is going well. Yeah, so I had a death in the family last year too. I lost two sisters, so I had to take some time off social media, but I'm back now, and I'm happy to share my knowledge. Burton said happy to join. Appreciate you tapping in. If you guys want to join my free school group and take part in my 7-day challenge to get your phone repair business jump started, or if you're an existing phone repair shop and you need help growing and hiring employees, go ahead and join my free school group. The link is in my bio, or you can message me for it. What up, Mr. Payday? All right. So, yeah, for those of you that have questions, send me a message. Go ahead and join my 7-day challenge. You can get my book on Amazon, The Complete Guide to Starting a Phone Repair Business. If you can't find it, just put my name in Amazon or send me a message and I'll give you the direct link. As for Misha, like I was saying, make the changes that I suggested and recommended and then get back to me when they're done. I will give you 48 hours from the time that I send you this link to complete the the revisions. It shouldn't take that long. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning in.